Okay, great.
The man, the myth, the legend, Bill Moseley. How you doing today, sir?
Good, Logan. What's going on?
Not too much. I just checked out the Possession Experiment, and I really love the shit out of it. Huge fan of your work. I actually met you a few times at Days of the Dead and Flashback Weekend in Chicago.
All right.
And
yeah, it's so funny. I just got a hoodie from Dream Reapers.
oh, really?
Remember the Dream Reapers, the haunted house?
Yeah. So they hooked you up with the free, some free swag, huh?
Yeah, I got it, but that's an oldie now. I think it's been out of business for a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm familiar. That's awesome.
But, one of the owners is here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, you remember that I had lost mine. I'd given it away. Maybe my kid has it or something.
Oh, really? Are you at a horror convention this weekend, or?
Yes, I'm actually down here in Orlando at the Spooky Empire Horror Con.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I've went to a few conventions. You're always at them. I always say hi to you. I actually have a Chop Top poster you signed a few years back in my office that says, "Lick my plate, you dog dick."
Lick my plate, you dick.
Yeah, I hold that poster close to my heart. I love it.
Yes, man. Well, just remember, dog will hunt.
Yeah, I always throw that movie in around the Halloween time. It's always a perfect film. So first of all, I had some questions about your new film. What drew you to this theological type of horror film?
Say that again?
I had a question. I said, what drew you to this theological type of horror film in Possession Experiment?
Well, these are scary times. I don't know if you've noticed. But
Yeah, oh yeah.
between Ebola and Zika and ISIS and, Trump, Clinton, whoever else is running for president, there's a lot of scary stuff going on. Putin, and it's all kind of make me nervous. So, a lot of times it's so funny. Horror films are really such a important part of American culture or world because they really provide kind of little morality plays. And, it's always good to have it boiled down to, a priest versus the devil, good versus evil.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of simplifies things. Gives you a sense that there is, some kind of a cosmic justice. And, what we're led to believe is that good triumphs over evil eventually. But, in this case, of course, that doesn't always hold true.
Right. And, 2016 is like a real life horror movie.
It really is. It's, and it's not necessarily getting better, but, it's good that we have the Possession Experiment.
Exactly.
That way, exactly. That way, at least, we have a little bit of, something transcendent out of that all.
Right.
And of course, it's a cool part. I got to channel my inner Max von Sydow, and I was a big fan, still am, of course, of The Exorcist, and so who wouldn't want to play that? Especially with the girl rising from the table, and not quite Linda Blair with her head spinning necessarily in the suit, but by golly, pretty darn good.
Yeah, it turned out really well. I loved it. And I was going to ask you, I'm like, how was it like playing this role? It's like a different role for you. You're playing a priest, and did you like watch The Exorcist to get into this mindset?
I did. I actually, when I channeled, just to give away one of my deep actor secrets is I kind of looked at it like Bears versus Pets.
Yeah.
I grew up outside of Chicago in Barrington, and so I was always a Chicago and still am a Chicago Bears fan.
Yeah.
And that's one of the the oldest and best rivalries in the NFL, and of course, I just brought that spirit into priest versus the devil. And what was interesting about the part was that it starts. The scene happens when we presume that this exorcism has been going on for days, if not weeks. And so it's like every day, it's the same old thing. We start the same way, the same prayers, the same incantations, the holy water, the bowl, the crucifix. And then, and the idea is that this is really a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
That eventually we're going to, wear out the devil and drive out the devil. And but then, as you have seen, things don't get out that way.
Right. And they really don't. With that being said, there's like a craze today with like exorcism movies and TV shows. They have the Exorcist TV show on Fox. Why do you think this is such a craze? Why do you think this is such a craze today with exorcisms and all that good stuff?
Well, I mean, again, The Exorcist was a hell of a movie.
Right.
Again, probably because things are so crazy now. That the world is, so threatening, frightening, and it's very hard to make sense out of why things are as they are.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense a couple of years ago that things were, we're all on, in a pretty decent path, and things were maybe going in a good direction. Anything can happen. Shooting in Sedino or Orlando, where I am now. Crazy stuff can happen, abroad. So many weird things going on that I think people are probably very excited to have something, black and white as exorcism. Ash versus the Evil Dead,
Yeah. Yep, that's another show that's pretty popular. Old Bruce Campbell, huh?
I played the captain of the Army of the Dead in Army of Darkness.
Yeah, I was reading about that the other day. I had no idea. I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. Had they talked about bringing you into
about 10 pounds of? I was under about 10 pounds of K&D rubber, so it's kind of hard to see.
It was
a little face.
Yeah, it was hard to recognize you, huh?
I also had, I had one of the sclera lenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my eyes were covered. One eye was covered by the sclera lens, and the other eye was covered by, an eye patch. So it made, riding a horse a little tough, but I did survive. I was very grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean that's one of my favorite films, especially the series. Have they talked about bringing you into Ash vs. Evil Dead? A recurring role?
I don't know what they're thinking. I haven't heard anything, but I'm game.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good role for you. You're a horror movie icon for many years. You've been in a ton of movies, plenty of classics that need no introduction. Do you think you'll ever switch gears and go into a romantic comedy role?
Well, most of the stuff that I do, is, has a touch of comedy. I mean, I think,
right.
I think of Chop Chop really is as much of a clown as anything. Otis had a pretty wry sense of humor. So
yeah.
I always try to, bring whimsy, I guess, or humor when it makes sense to all my characters. So if I were in a comedy, that would make complete sense. I'd be very happy to do it.
Yeah, that's what you're great at as an actor. You always have that comedic sense about your characters that always really stands out, and it's always a great performance, especially Otis. He's one of my favorite characters that you've done, and I just really love those films. Speaking of which, is there any chance of you working with Rob Zombie again? Maybe seeing the old Firefly clan back together?
Well, that's a Rob Zombie question.
Yeah, okay.
I'm down. It's so funny because when Sid Haig and I were doing conventions, and we were actually in Schaumburg together there a couple weeks ago.
Yep, I was there.
When we do conventions, yeah. So one or somebody invariably comes one or the other of us and says, "Will there be a sequel to Devil's Rejects?"
Mm-hmm.
And I call out Sid. He goes, "What?" I said, "Is there going to be a sequel to Devil's Rejects?" And he goes, "Nope." And I go, "How come?" And then we count to three. 1, 2, 3, and in unison we say, "Because we're fucking dead."
Yeah, I was reading.
I don't know if that would work out.
Yeah, I didn't.
We're out of time.
Okay, all right. Well, Bill, thanks for taking the time out of your day to get interviewed for Cinephellas.com. I'll post this interview up this weekend. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thank you for talking.
No problem. You have a good weekend.
All right. Bye.
Bye.